Okay, so let's start with our European government review. To start with, we have two types of government. One, we have autocracy when one person governs with all the power. Citizens have little or no say in the government. And other side, we have democracy when citizens have all the power because they get to vote. For autocracy, we have two forms. One is that we have dictatorship when one person who govern by force. And example, they have Hitler, Lenin, and we also know Julian and Han Jun and all these other people as well. And for absolute monarchy, we have, for example, Tsar Nicholas II of Russia when he said, I am the king because God chose me as a king, and you guys need to follow me. And if you guys don't follow me, I kill all of you guys. Yes, that is also a form of autocracy because they were ruling by force and that one person had all control. Next, we have the form of democracy. There's also two form of democracy. There's presidential democracy, which we'll be focusing right now. So in presidential democracy, citizens get to elect for both the executive branch and for the legislative branch. So basically, presidential democracy, citizens have the most power because citizens are able to vote for both the head of government and the legislative, the lawmaker. Let's go, for example, United States and Russia have a presidential democracy where Russian president, a head of the government, citizens get to vote for them. So the role of citizen is they get to vote for the president and they also have freedom, but they can't really talk bad about the government or there will be harm done by the government to the citizen. Next, we have parliamentary democracy. So, parliamentary democracy is when the citizens vote only for the lawmaker and the parliament then choose for the leader. We know, for example, United Kingdom, a lawmaker is called parliament, and of course, a leader is called a prime minister. And citizens are able to vote for the parliament, House of Commons, but they cannot vote for the prime minister. And for example, Germany as well, they have a head of government called chancellor. The citizens are able to vote for the legislator, the parliament, but they're not able to vote for the chancellor. So the citizen can, of course, again, vote for Bundestag, but they cannot vote directly for the chancellor. Bundestag get to choose for the chancellor. And we, of course, know about the UK mascot, King Charles, where a constitutional monarchy where queen and king have no power and they're just there to, protect the citizen just for ceremony. Okay, so before we start, I just want to say I appreciate you guys watching the video. Like I said, reviewing just like this is going to get your grade better. You're going to appreciate yourself. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and dive to review right away. All right, to start with, we have autocracy. Autocracy is when one leader has all the power. As an example, we have Soviet Union, Cuba, North Korea, and we saw autocracy during like Germany during Hitler. We also see it during Tsar Nicholas II when he was an absolute monarch. Absolute monarchy is part of autocracy, meaning, technically speaking, the only form of autocracy is dictatorship. So, guys, there's no such thing as absolute monarchy at this time. It's just dictatorship and autocracy. Second, let's go ahead and talk about democracy. Democracy is when citizens have the power, and usually citizens have this power by voting. So, if you're in a system where you are allowed to vote and choose the leader of your country, you're in a democratic country. You're practicing democracy. Third, we have presidential democracy. So, presidential democracy is when citizens directly elect the leader. And we can also say citizen directly elect the chief executive because, those words are we're going to talk about it in number six. But guys, presidential democracy is when citizens directly elect the leader of the country, the president of the country, the top of the top. When citizens can vote for the leader, you're in a presidential democracy. As an example, we have Russia. In a European country that we study, Russia is the only presidential democracy. Now, parliamentary democracy. Parliamentary democracy is when citizens vote for a member of the parliament, and parliament then select the leader. Different from presidential democracy, where citizens can directly vote for the leader, in parliamentary democracy, the citizen can only vote for the members of the parliament, the legislator. So, guys, in parliamentary democracy, the legislator hold the power, and the legislator is with the chief executive because citizen is not voting for the leader. Citizen is voting for legislator, and legislators are the one that's voting for the president. So the power is within the legislator itself. Next, we have constitutional monarchy. Constitutional monarchy is when constitution limit the monarch power instead of the absolute monarch where they're saying, I am the king because the God told me. Constitutional monarchy is saying, I am king, I am a queen, but the constitution tells me I do not have that much power and I'm just here for ceremonial duty. So constitutional monarchy is when they have king or queen that does not have much power. United Kingdom have this. So now, chief executive. Chief executive is head of government, or as we can say, the leader of the country. So when we're talking about chief executive, we're talking about president. Or in UK, we talk about prime minister, and in Germany, chancellor. So, guys, again, chief executive is the head of government, the leader of the country. United Kingdom, they call their leader prime minister. In Germany, they call their leader chancellor. And in Russia, they call their leader president. And as you guys notice, out of this three country, Russia is the only one that have the name president as their chief executive. And of course, they're the only one that have presidential democracy. Seven, head of state, a leader who represent country at ceremonial event, but they hold very little power. So head of state is basically just a representative that is just there to as a ceremonial. They don't really have much things to do, but they're just there to represent the country, but they don't really do anything. For example, we have United Kingdom monarch. We even talk about this during, the class. We said we heard about Queen Elizabeth, but who heard about Runsak? Like nobody did. And you guys agreed. You guys saw the monarch, the ceremonial, more than the chief executive sometimes, just like the United Kingdom. Monarch is more of an icon. And in United Kingdom politic itself, the monarch is not doing anything. And of course, in the other country, we have Germany. Germany have president, which is, same thing with monarch. They don't have as much as power. And Russia, their prime minister does not have that much power as well. Let's move to the second. So, how are leaders chosen in this system? Guys, in presidential democracy, just like what we talked about, citizens are voting for the president. Citizens directly elect the leader. So, citizen directly electing the leader, again, presidential democracy. Parliamentary democracy. Again, the name is who we vote for. So, parliamentary democracy, we're voting for the parliament. So, we talked about parliament being the legislator. So, citizens elect a member of the legislator, and legislators select the leader. So, that's parliamentary democracy for you. Autocracy. Autocracy is when leader take over and has complete control, usually by military force. And we talked about this over the time. Hitler. We talked about, a lot of brutal like Tsar Nicholas II and Kim Jong Un. all these different dictators that leader take over and have complete control, and they do not care what the citizen think or what his the government think. It's just one man army, single ruler ruling everything. Next, next is true or false. Let's talk about this. Number 11 says in the United Kingdom, the political party that has the largest amount of members in the House of Commons choose the prime minister. That is true. As we talked about, United Kingdom have a parliamentary democracy, meaning United Kingdom, the citizens are going to vote for the member of the parliament, which in United Kingdom is called House of Commons, and then they will choose for the prime minister. Number 12, German chief executive is president. Nope, that is false. We know German's chief executive, the German leader, is called the chancellor. The chancellor. Number 13, a leader who represents the country at a ceremonial event and official function, but typically holds very little power, is called the head of government. False. That is called the head of state. Head of government is a chief executive, the top of the top, the big dog. So the excuse me. So the chief executive, just like what we talked about, Germany chancellor. United Kingdom, Prime Minister, and of course, Russia, President. Let's move on to number 14. The Chancellor is the chief executive in Russia's government. False. We just talked about that in number 12. German chief executive is called Chancellor, and Russia's chief executive is called the President. So, number 14 is false. Number 15. In a parliamentary democracy, the chief executive is part of legislative branch. That is true. Guys, as we talked about, citizens get to elect the parliament, the legislator, meaning the legislator holds the power. So the chief executive is part of the legislative branch. Number 16. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union was an autocratic government. True. We know during the Cold War, Soviet Union was in this state of dictatorship where citizens did not have any rights and they just had to follow the order. And we know following with Gorbachev changing Russia, well, Soviet Union back to Russia, changing Soviet Union to Russia, making more of a presidential democracy. But yes, during Cold War, Soviet Union was an autocratic government. Number 17, citizen elect member to only one house of the bicameral legislature in Germany and United Kingdom, but not in Russia. False. Guys, we talked about this. All three countries are bicameral. So that is false. Citizen only elect member to one house in all three countries. Number 18, the United States has constitutional monarchy. False. United Kingdom, I'm so sorry. United Kingdom does have constitutional monarchy. Number 18 said United States has constitutional monarchy. False. Guys, we don't even talk about United States, but United States does not have a monarchy. We don't have a king or queen. Of course, that's false. The country that they're referring to is United Kingdom. They have a constitutional monarchy where the king and queen have no power. Number 19, the executive branch and legislative branch have separate power in parliamentary democracy. False. That is in presidential democracy. Presidential democracy is the only one where citizens get to vote for both president and the parliament, the legislator. 20. Russia's government violates citizen freedom of speech by censoring media. That is true. Russia government will often violate citizen, and as we did it during election, there was a lot of different, dynamic. A lot of people wanted to vote something else, but I was kind of violating you guys' right by going around and censoring, and I was telling you guys need to vote for something. You guys need to vote for something, and I was keep on, violating your freedom to make you think certain way, which we saw in all of our classes. President, I mean, none of the popular, none of the people that we thought was going to be president became president. Who I wanted to become president became president. So, yes, Russia government violates citizen freedom of speech by censoring media. And our last, we're going to compare and contrast government of UK, Germany, and Russia. So to start with, let's start with similarity, all the similarities here in the middle. So in the middle, we have all three countries are bicameral. They vote at 18 and they're all democratic. They all practice democracy. Let's talk about similarity between Russia and Germany, which I'm very sure you guys have the most question about. So in Russia and Germany, the similarity is that they both have a president, but Germany's is head of state. So let's talk about that. Russia, to start with, Russia have a presidential democracy. Their chief executive is called the president. So president is the top of the top in Russia. And of course, we also talked about citizens who criticize government face consequences and government censor media. In Germany, the chief executive is chancellor. That is the difference. Russia have presidential democracy, Germany have parliamentary democracy. And Germany, the chief executive is called the chancellor. And in Russia, because it's presidential democracy, the head of the government is a president. Let's talk about United Kingdom. United Kingdom chief executive is the prime minister. They also are is a parliamentary democracy. And guys, know that United Kingdom, they have a parliamentary democracy, but they also have constitutional monarch inside of their parliamentary democracy. Meaning king and queen are just a mascot. They're just a little tourist attraction. They don't really have power. But the parliament, the legislator, are the true power in United Kingdom government. And of course, we also talked about in Germany, parliamentary democracy, meaning leader is member of the legislative branch. People are choosing the parliament. So again, to keep it simple, let me recap everything. United Kingdom and Germany, parliamentary democracy. United Kingdom have constitutional monarchy, like Queen Elizabeth, but she did not have power. United Kingdom chief executive is called Prime Minister. Germany is also a parliamentary democracy, and their leader is called the Chancellor. And we know Germany and United Kingdom, the parliamentary democracy, the leader is member of legislative branch, the parliament. In Russia, they have presidential democracy. Chief executive is called the president. President, the leader, will of course rule the country, and the leader will basically lead the country. In all three countries, you can vote at 18, and in all three countries, they're bicameral legislator. Guys, thank you for watching the video again. I hope you guys ace this test. If you have any question, please let me know. Come see me or watch the video again. But I am really proud of you guys for watching this all through. Watch it again, and I'll see you guys next time.